Are you feeling
My
better?
Yeah, I'm better. I'm better. Yesterday, my really bad. I couldn't. I don't know what was the final result, but anyway, Baba's wish.
Your final result was all fine, right? Better now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Good to hear.
How's everything at your end, Karthik, at Dubai?
All well, going on. In the shade, it's 45 degrees, so
Wow,
it's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. It's
wow.
so the biggest thing is I love the outdoors, and there's absolutely no outdoors. We were just talking, Ravi and I. I asked him where he walks, and I walk in AC walkway, which is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I can't come to terms with that.
Come to
Anyway,
Pune. We have a walking path here. And Ravi, how are you?
Very,
Ravi,
very good, very good.
good to see you.
Jai Baba, Sunil ji.
Yes, Jeva was doing.
Jai Baba,
Jai Baba.
everybody.
okay, so let's get started. Ashokji, you want to read
Yes.
you get the honor of reading it every time.
No, but I think if somebody else wants to read also, I don't want to take away that.
Go ahead, read, Ashok. We want to
Yes.
listen to you.
Yeah, and can I see this? I don't see the screen, but one second.
You will get it.
Apologies, apologies, apologies.
All you have to do is ask, Ashok. You will get it. There you go.
Yes, yes, yes. Jay Baba.
Jai Baba.
Three of Meher Baba's favorite couplets of Hafiz, a mystical Persian poet, befitting a fortunate slave, carry out every command of the master without any question of why and what. About what you hear from the master, never say it is wrong because, my dear, the fault lies in your own incapacity to understand him. I am slave of the master who has released me from ignorance. Whatever my master does is of the highest benefit to all concerned. Hafiz. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you, Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. And where are we from a journey perspective? So let me just okay, one sec. So we are in class number 20. Actually, it's 21, I think. One second. No, number 21. We finished up to 392. We started a section called the latest news. So that's where we are, right? So let's get to that. We stopped at this point, which is on page 392. We are going through some encounters and connections with advanced souls in the period 1947 and 1948, right? So let's start with that. And Ashok, if you're comfortable, why don't you read for some time? Let's start with you.
Okay, okay. So,
Are you comfortable?
yes, I am. I'm
Great, go
okay.
ahead.
So, it's 27th September 1947. Chawandi Maharaj is a yogi at Dilwara on Mount Abu. For 20 years, he has remained in a place that is so attractive that one of the Mandli with Baba expressed no surprise that Chawandi Maharaj had remained there for so many years. He sits in front of a small grotto, and on the other side are twin brooks of cold crystal water that spring from mossy crevices in the rocks on each side of the grotto. Matra, sorry,
No, no. What is a grotto? Right. One sec. Let me just. Small picturesque cave. Okay, so it sits in a cave. Trust Donkins to not use the word cave. Okay, go
At
ahead.
this age, and you're learning vocabulary. So
Yeah, yeah. So I have no complaints. Thank you, Donkins.
yes,
Though I hope
Matragiri
I remember
Maharaj,
to say grotto the next time, but
Grotto. Sorry.
no, though I hope I remember the next time to say grotto when I think of a cave, but we'll see.
Okay, Matragiri Maharaj, Agori Baba, lives at Oria, a little village to the west of Mount Abu, about 7 miles away. He is conspicuous for eating anything, clean or dirty, that comes his way, and for this reason, he has been given the name of Aghori, undiscriminating. He has dwelt for about 40 years in a cave at Arya and is now an old man. He's in an advanced yogi.
So that's interesting. The Agori tradition, I did not know the meaning was undiscriminating, but basically they follow a tantric path, and then they do crazy stuff. I mean, they live in they do everything that normal humans or normal spirituality considers as either wrong or not a path of God. And the idea is very basic. The idea is anyway, if everything is divine, then even in the negative aspects, there should be a way of getting to divinity. So it's a uh, interesting take. And there are a lot of agoris, and many of them are souls that have a lot of siddhis as well.
So Karthik, I have a question. Is this in any related to or near to occultism?
Potentially, yes, depending on how you use the word occultism. So I had a debate recently. So to be honest, occult is actually a word that I think is wrongly associated with negativity. If you look at the way Baba describes it in discourses, occult is anything that is not visible to the normal plane and the scientific realm and the gross rules of the world. So anything is occult. So yes, those siddhis, some of that could be called occult.
Okay,
Does it
great.
answer the question? Or
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I just had a fleeting thought, and I said,
okay.
so I'll continue.
Yeah, yeah,
29th
please.
September, 29th September 1947. Some more contacts on Mount Abu on the last day of Baba's stay there. Three souls were contacted, none of them of great interest spiritually. They were Kokle Maharaj, an old man, a seeker, and a great wanderer who has been who has seen most of India. Pardon me. He was living in the elephant cave at the time of his contact with Baba. He is a fine singer of devotional songs. Second, Khaki Baba is a sincere sadhu. Third, Brahmachari Maharaj is a seeker who lives in a cave near a lake on Mount Abu. Again, 29th September 1947. Baba descended Mount Abu to Abu Road, where he contacted two new souls. Ganesh Mastan is a middle aged, moderate must who wears a sack and lives under a certain tree about 2 miles from Abu Road station. Shagandas Maharaj lives a little at the little village of Rishikesh, about 3 miles from Abu Road station. He is a jolly old man, a seeker. From Abu Road, Baba returned to his center at Pimplegaon. Baba left Pimplegaon and went by car to Bombay. From Bombay, he went to Ajmer and began a tour for the contact of advanced souls. On his tours, he visited Baroda, Ahmedabad, Baroda second visit, and Palghar, and then returned to Pimpalgaon. The contacts in each place are given below. He reached Ajmer on the evening the of 17th October. On these 2 days, Baba contacted a number of Masts in Ajmer. Bengali Baba is a seeker, an old man who has lived in a cemetery in Ajmer for the last 40 years. Bashir Mia is perhaps about 35 years old and is a moderate Mast in a Mazoob like state. If offered money, he gives it away to others. He is respected and is fed by those who believe in him. Yar Muhammad Khan hails from Peshawar. He is elderly and wears a garland around his neck. A garland not of flowers but of old china, pieces of iron, and other metal fragments. He is a good must of the Ittifaqi type. Chup Shah is a moderate must who sat near the shrine of Khwaja Sahib for about 10 years.
Again, Khwaja Sahib is the reference to the same tomb shrine we talked about yesterday, the Ajmer Dargah, which is
Oh,
Chisti.
absolutely, I've been there. It's phenomenal.
Sure.
And and
I've
my
been there
one
too.
one question: uh, did we cover Bengali Baba earlier? I think keep somewhere some reference.
I'm not sure. Maybe yes. I'm not sure
Good.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, the cross references anyway.
Yeah.
Chup Shah is a moderate Smas who sat near the shrine of Khwaja Sahib for about 10 years. Kambliwala
No, it's
looks.
Kali Kambliwala, the one with the
Oh,
black
Kali.
blanket.
Okay, yes, Kali Kambliwala. Thanks. Looks in his mid 40s and is a seeker who roams about the lanes of Ajmer. Sardar Singh is a seeker. Buddhiman, Buddhiman is an old woman and a good Mastani who sits under a sack awning beneath a certain tree near Ajmer station. Several years ago, she used to be naked and she still berates those who come near her. Baba was very happy to contact her. Pathan Malang Baba is an old man who lives in a hut near Ghanta Ghat. He is of no special merit or interest. Hathi Baba is a moderate must who for 20 years has sat on a rubbish heap. Baba contacted this must first in 1941. Kabristan Wala, Kular Shah. This, of course, is the Kabristan Wala alias Socrates, the fifth plain must first contacted by Baba in Ajmer at the time of the Mast Ashram there in February 1939 and on many occasions after that. At this latest contact, he was found in a tiny mosque near his old mausoleum, and it seems that he now generally sleeps in this little mosque. The photo of him in chapter 4 was taken in this mosque at the time of this last contact. Chacha needs no introduction for he is the seventh plain Mazhub of Ajmer. Baba sat with Chacha for 4 hours in his hovel near the shrine of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishi. On this occasion, Chacha repeatedly asked Baba for water, and two bishtis, water carriers, were engaged to keep up an ample supply there. He also lived up to his nickname by frequently asking for tea and also given food 3 times by Baba. 8 poor people were contacted by Baba and were given 1 rupee each.
Actually, both of these sections that we read are 19th and 20th October 1947, though they arrived into Ajmer on 16th.
Oh,
So,
yes,
yeah.
I missed that. This
No, no,
one
no
second.
problem. No problem. 21st.
Yeah, 21st October 1947. Baba departed from Ajmer and reached Baroda next morning at 4 a.m. In Baroda, he contacted three advanced souls and a number of poor. The details of these contacts are given below. 22nd October 1947, Baba renewed two old contacts in Baroda on this day. Firstly, Chambu Shah, whose initial contact with Baba took place on 21st September. These contacts with Chambu Shah during October, beginning on the 22nd and ending on the 25th, were repeated 7 times. This plethora of contacts is so fully described in the main part of this chapter that further details would be redundant here. Sayyid Badruddin Rafai Shah was also contacted first a month earlier on 21st September, and a note opposite this date in this summary describes him. At this second contact on 22nd October, Baba gave Badruddin Baba his own coat, holding the coat for Badruddin Baba while he slipped on. 23rd October 1947, two contacts on this day in Baroda. Chambu Shah was contacted at 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. This needs no further comment.
So we read yesterday, right? So he's
Yes.
one of the rare guys who kept calling him back and never spent time other than calling him at 5 and 2.
Yeah. So there are some idiosyncrasies, but yes, there's some significance to that as well. Narayan Mastan is an old man, a seeker who repeats constantly the words Sat Bolo, speak the truth. 24th October 1947, Baba still in Baroda, Chambu Shah contacted as usual at 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. 25th October 1947, Baroda. Chambu Shah contacted twice this day, thus at last concluding the contacts with this great must. 20, yeah, 26th October 1947, in the morning, 14 poor people of Baroda were contacted and given 1 rupee each by Baba. On the evening of the same day, 16 more people were contacted and given 1 rupee each. 28th October 1947, Baba left Baroda for Ahmedabad. In Ahmedabad, he contacted four Masts, renewing in one case an old contact. The latter was Siddiq Badshah, who had been contacted on 22nd September 1947 and also twice in 1941. See the supplement under Ahmedabad for a brief description of this must. The other two were new contacts. Arab Shah is an old man who sits on a kind of platform on the public pavement near the Parsi Dharamshala. Pava describes his mosque as one of the most interesting he has ever seen. For an untold number of years, Arab Shah has sat on this platform near the Parsi Dharamshala, his entire body covered with a piece of gunny cloth. No one has ever seen his face, and those who offer him food pass it to him under the mantle of gunny cloth. In addition to this, Arab Shah has always remained in a sitting posture. He remains sitting even when he sleeps, just as no one has ever seen Arab Shah without his mantle of gunny cloth. So also none has ever seen him in any other position than sitting on this little platform. Baba contacted him by night and gave him sweetmeats. Majnu Shah is an old man who has spent 30 years in a shrine. Bundel Shah wanders about the city with a bundle under his arm. He mutters to himself and smokes cheap cigars. He is a good must. There is a footnote, we'll have to do it later. Uh, the must should not be confused with Bundel Shah of Pune, mentioned in chapter 5 and the supplement. After contacting these four musts, Baba and the men with him spent the night on the station platform. This is perhaps a trivial item, but it illustrates the voluntary hardships that Baba undergoes on these tours. 29th October 1947. Baba rose early and went again to visit Arab Shah on his little platform on the pavement. See note of 28th October above. At this contact, Baba gave Arab Shah some tea. 29th October 1947. There's a question mark maybe. Baba returned to Baroda where he stayed in the dark bungalow. For his work in Baroda on this occasion, see the next item. 30th October 1947. Ali Shah, the must described in chapter 2 as one of the five favorites, arrived in Baroda from Ahmednagar. Baba had wired instructions for this fine old Jamali must to be brought to Baroda for special work there. He stayed with Baba in the Baroda Dak Bungalow until 2nd November. When he was sent back to Ahmednagar. While in Baroda, Baba sat with Ali Shah twice each day for some hours. After leaving Baroda, Baba returned to Pimpalgaon, passing through Palghar on his way, although he contacted no advanced souls in this latter place. He reached Pimpalgaon again on 6th November. 5th December 1947. On the evening of this day, Baba walked up the hill known as Tembi behind his center at Pimpalgaon and began an important period of seclusion. Two small huts of cement asbestos sheeting with tiles on the roofs to make them cooler had been erected on this hill, one on its summit and the other on a lower shoulder of the same hill. Next to this lower hut, a tent was also pitched. Ali Shah, the Ahmednagar Mas, described fully in chapter 2, was brought to Baba on this hill and stayed in the lower of the two huts. Each morning, beginning on 6th December and ending on 17th December, Baba sat with Ali Shah in the lower hut from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. 17th December 1947, Baba descended the hill from his seclusion at about 10 a.m. and returned to his center at Pimpalgaon. During the next 2 days, 18th and 19th December, Baba sat with Ali Shah alone in a room for 3 hours each day. In this way, a total of 14 days of work was completed with Ali Shah, 12 days on the hill and 2 days at Pimpalgaon. Ali Shah was then sent back to Mehrabad. 17th December 1948. On this day, Baba began a partial fast, taking only one meal a day with tea twice. This fast continued until the morning of 26 February. 18th January 1948. Ali Shah was brought to Pimpalgaon again and stayed for 10 days, from 18th to 27th January inclusive. Baba sat with his delightful must alone in a room each day from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. On 27th January, Ali Shah was given a bath by Baba and was sent to Mehrabad on the morning of 28th January. Baba only bathes Ali Shah occasionally, in marked contrast to the prodigious daily baths that the great Chatti Baba used to have.
The buckets of water that needed. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
huge.
So, Karthik,
So,
I was
yeah,
just wondering
yeah,
that if you have to ever revisit all these places, it would take more than a lifetime.
absolutely. And Baba did it so quickly and so many times, going back to the same place. Unbelievable. Anyway, I was reminded of what Ravi mentioned yesterday, and in fact, Googled it a little bit. So on some day you have to tell us more about Raghavulu, Ravi. So I saw a
Yeah.
note. I saw a note on one of the Baba websites about him, and a visit to Guru Prasad along with GSS and Murthy, and his
GS and Murthy. Yeah.
experience. Yeah, and his
Yeah.
experience with Baba during that episode. But
Right.
obviously, I think you might have a lot more to share, and maybe you can even put together something must specific and then share it with us.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yes,
Karthik, Ravi is an encyclopedia, no? He has,
absolutely, absolutely.
No, I just
I mean, he's
remember.
got various nuances and various, information.
He's Baba in diversity. He's got so many things up his sleeve. It's unbelievable. He does
Yeah,
Ved.
yeah.
He does
No,
Vedanta. He does Chinmayananda. He does you know. he's he's amazing. Full
it's
of
all
Baba
Versatile,
Baba.
yeah.
energy.
It's all Baba's blessings.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
Continuing.
Yeah, please. Maybe one page or two, and then we'll rotate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just maybe 2 3 minutes, and then it'll be 8 o'clock. 27th January 1948. Two men were brought from Pune for Baba's contact. One was a sannyasi of no particular interest, known as Desai, whose body was in a sorry mess from secondary infected scabies. He was disinclined to stay and so was sent back to Pune the next day. The other was a seeker. When he arrived, he was a pathetic sight, a thin, elderly man with a long growth of scanty grey hair on scalp and chin, a starveling expression of resignation on his thin face, and a general out at elbow look about him. He was a seeker, genuinely aspiring to things of the spirit, and he was literally indifferent as to whether he ever got food or not. I do not think he spoke one word during his days at Pimplegaon, and he would spend most of the day squatting in the sun. If spoken to, he merely smiled. On the day of his arrival at Pimplegaon, he was shaved and bathed by Baba and clad in a new shirt and trousers. This so transformed his appearance that he looked an entirely different man. Baba sat with him each morning for about 1 hour and for a few minutes each evening, and also fed him each day with his own hands. He was sent back to Pune on 3rd February. This was 27th January 1948. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just wondering, Karthik, that January and February are probably very um, specifically signaled months for in Baba's activities.
So I thought I'll show you Baba in
Oh
Singapore.
yes, the beautiful the Bhakti Yogi from Singapore.
Yes. So what are those letters on the tablecloth? I don't know. Krishna, Janaki,
Janaki.
Bhagwan,
Yeah, yeah.
Jaise,
It's Achyutam
Achyutam
Keshavam.
Keshavam. Okay, okay.
Yeah, the
Ram.
painting. Somebody gave it to me. I haven't framed it, so I kept it under Baba till he kind of energizes it, and then I'll put it on wall.
Wow.
And wow. And what is this? What's this crystal ball?
Yeah, I don't know. I bought it in the US. I don't know. It kind of spoke to me. I like it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's continue.
Achyutam Kesavam
Yeah,
Ram
that's the
Krishna
one.
Damodaram. Good song.
Janaki Janaki
Jaki
Vallabham.
Vallabh
I don't know. We will sing one other day. Now continue. Let's.
Yeah, yeah.
Kesavam
That's
Krishna Damodaram Namo Narayana Janaki Vallabham
कौन
Yes.
कहते हैं
है
भगवान
भगवान
आते
आते नहीं
नहीं तो
तुम
मीरा
मेरी के जैसे बुलाते नहीं.
वाह. Okay.
क्या बात है.
Good job.
That is spontaneous singing. Anyway, very good. From the heart. 30th
Yeah.
January 1948, a madman was brought to Pipalgaon from the streets of Ahmednagar on the mistaken assumption that he was a must. He was a quiet, goofy, agreeable young Muslim whose body was alive with lice. He sat on a chair under the shade of a tree while Baba shaved his head. Various members of the Mandali, taking their cues from Baba, asked him his name. At first, he simply said he was the nephew of Mehtab Khan, but with a little more integration, averred that his own name was Majid Khan and he hailed from Punjab. Baba bathed him, clad him in new shirt and trousers, and sent him back to Ahmednagar the same day.
Okay, my question is, why is Pimpalgaon being referred here? It's basically Mehrazad, right? I think before it got its name, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah. They used
Okay.
to Pimplegam is just close by
It's the
village.
village next to Mehrazad. Yeah,
Maharaja, just a couple of houses. That's about it.
that's it. Yeah, but then he's using Pimpalgaon maybe because Mehrazad was the name itself was not in vogue or not
Yeah,
even
right.
named. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, Karthik. The name was not in vogue maybe in 1948.
Correct.
And Katie had a dispensary there in Pimplegam, I think,
Yes.
medical center.
Correct.
Mhm.
I think it still operates or so, yeah.
Still operates. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So 4th February 1948, on this day, Alicia was brought to Pimplegaon and Baba sat with him from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. After contact, he was sent back to Mehrabad. 7th February 1948, Baba departed from Pimplegaon at dawn and went by car to Bombay. The party reached Bombay in the afternoon and Baba set out at once to contact Masts. In the early pages of this chapter, it was made clear that this was the first time that Baba had contacted Mast in Bombay since 1922. The first contacted was Ali Akbar Shah, a Madarzad Mast in Mahim. He is one of a large family, all of whom, except the eldest brother, are Madarzad Masts. This contact is described in full in the early pages of this chapter. Pathan Baba was contacted next. He is the fifth plain Mast in Kolaba, who is fully described in the early pages of this chapter, so that he needs no further comment here. The third and the last must contacted on this day was Biliwala Baba. He is usually to be found on some waste land near the seashore behind the church at Mount Mary in Bandra, a suburb of Bombay. His peculiarity is that he is always surrounded by cats, sometimes by a few cats and sometimes by many. Biliwala Baba is a middle-aged Muslim with long hair and is a moderate must. Baba gave him 1 rupee at the time of contact. On the evening of this day, having completed these contacts in Bombay, Baba entrained for Allahabad, where he arrived late at night on 8th February. एक
Okay.
minute. Yeah, Billy means. Note for the Westerners, Billy means a cat, hence the origin of this man's name.
Okay. Do you want to rotate reading? Sunil, you got abruptly, you lost your chance to read. So why don't you take it up if you're
Yeah,
okay to read?
that's a good idea. Jai Baba.
Jay Baba.
Karthik, can I be the last one?
Sure.
The third one. I'm on the road right now.
Okay. So let
So,
me read for a bit, then Ravi and then Sunil.
yeah. All right. Thanks.
Jai Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. 9th February 1948. This was the great day of Baba's special work in Allahabad. In the early pages of this chapter, a brief explanation has been given of the great Ardha Kumbh Mela that was in full swing when Baba reached Allahabad, and that This day, 9th February, being the day of the new moon, was of special significance. At dawn, Baba and his men went to the fairgrounds, and at 7 a.m., Baba began his work of contacting sadhus. By 10 a.m., his work was complete. In these 3 hours, he had contacted 4,000 sadhus. Although none of the Mandali with Baba on that day was allowed to see him at work, it was understood that Baba touched the feet of every one of the 4,000 sadhus. This meant inevitably a tremendous physical strain. If you recollect, it was multiple akhadas that he visited. The Mandali used to go to the akhada and then he used to go inside and do his work with the sadhus in that akhada and then come out. So amazing or intriguing is one word that keeps coming back to my mind to see what he would have done and what was the actual work that went on in these sessions. After the completion of this mighty work, Baba contacted 4 masks in Allahabad itself. These were number 1, Vishwanath Baba, a sadhu who is also a mast. He is elderly and is noted for aping with his voice the sounds made by a tabla, drum, and a harmonium. He also sings well. He is a good mast. Number 2, Shah Sahib, who looks perhaps 50 years old, roams about carrying a book under his arm and has a pair of old spectacles perched on his nose. He does not look through the lenses of these spectacles, but peers over the top of them. He makes gestures and sometimes shouts out loud. He is a good mast. Number 3, Kamruddin Mast hails from Agra. Though he has been in Allahabad for many years now, he is naked except for a loincloth and generally has dogs near him. He is a good mast. Sheikh Mardan came to Allahabad from Madras about 8 years ago. He is stark naked, smokes hemp, and has a passion for tea. He is a moderate mast. Following the contact with these 4,000 sadhus and 4 masks, Baba left Allahabad on the night of 9th February and arrived in Bombay early on the morning of 11th February. 11th February 1948. On the early morning of this day, Baba contacted 4 masks in Bombay. The most important was Umar Baba, a high 6th plane mast who is the spiritual chargeman of Bombay. This contact is fully described in the early pages of this chapter. Besides Umar Baba, 3 other masks of relatively minor interest were contacted. Their names were not recorded. The first was a good mast who has sat next to a fire station in Bhendi Bazaar for many years. The second was a moderate mast who lives in a garden at Nagpada. The third was a moderate mast who sits near a certain petrol pump. After these contacts in Bombay, Baba left for Pimplegaon by car, arriving there in the middle of the afternoon. 15th February 1948. Baba left Pimplegaon with his group and came to Ahmednagar, where he stayed in the house of Rustam Jahangir Irani. Sunil, you have a question? Or it's a
Yeah,
but?
I was sorry. I wanted to ask something crossed my mind. What is a good must? Aren't
Yeah,
all
so I
musts
was
good?
I was having that question as well because Donkin keeps using this word, and in fact, I think it's just too many times, and I'm not sure if he has actually defined it because I don't know what it means. He keeps calling some as good musts. Apart from the classification of the 7 musts that he keeps alluding to, types of must. He keeps saying
Right.
just good must. I don't know what it means. Something to look
Okay.
up.
The other question that came to my mind is, I think saw how many must contacts did he have total? It's some count somewhere, right?
Yeah, there.
2,000 or
Yeah, 3,000 odd. Yes, I think.
3,000 odd.
Yeah.
So was it that during Baba's lifetime there were more musts on the Earth than what we see today, or there must be similar number of musts on the Earth today, or in India, let's say.
Jeva Sunil, this same question came to my mind, and I think there would probably be more musts than William Donkins would have written here. Baba might have met many more musts. We don't know. It's a matter of research, or it's a matter of, yeah,
So
of you know.
my question is, today's times, do we,
Sorry,
does that, I don't live in India, but do you all see musts around, or can we identify, or we don't?
it's Sunil. Very frankly, it's difficult to identify, but we do find peculiar people uh, on the pavements, in the railway stations, and around. But it's very difficult to discern for us whether he's a must, or he's just, whether he's God mad or he's just mad. It's very difficult. It's very, very
Mm.
intriguing, of course, and we don't have the special powers which probably, you know Baba
I
had.
think some of the
Baba
musts, no, not all
Baba
the
gave
musts were, yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Baba gave what's his name? He's from Iran. Baidal.
Bible
Baidal has special power.
To detect,
He was
yeah.
involved in a lot of must finding. And Baba also gave some instructions to all the mandali how to identify a must versus a madman. And if you ever have a doubt, one thing that struck me is if you ever have a doubt whether the person is madman or a must, look inside and seek the answer, and you will get an answer. Something like that, Baba said. Do you understand what I'm said? I'm
Ravi,
paraphrasing it.
can we request you to collate this into a maybe just a word file, or a presentation? It might be worth it. Can we request you in your free time? Because it's really,
Well,
this is a question which always was there, and good that Sunil brought it up. Is that how do we identify or differentiate a must in today's time? It's rather,
I
of
don't
course,
think I don't think we have the ability to do that because we don't have that ability, right?
correct. But
We
at
may
least,
find somebody. Uh, when I was young, I'll tell you my experience. When I was young, I was just in the seventh grade. I used to live in a suburb of a town called Tenali. Many of you must have heard the name Tenali, right? It's very close to that's where my father used to work as a principal. Uh, and from the place where we used to live to go to the center of Tenali, where all the shopping is there, it's about half a kilometer, something like that. On the way, there was a pond, a small pond. Next to that pond, all along the road, there used to be these people who make baskets. What do you call them? Weavers? Not
Basket
weavers.
weavers, yeah, maybe.
The basket weavers. And there's one guy, his mind used to be somewhere very pleasant. He used to have a shirt on the top, but he never used to wear anything on the bottom. And he used to just loiter there, here and there. Somehow I used to feel he was just not a madman. I had no idea about musts or anything, even though I know about Meher Baba at that time. He used to loiter there. And it so happened along where we used to live across, there used to be an NCC office, this army office. There used to be one peon there, one peon, the guy who used to bring tea and all. Somehow he got interested in Meher Baba because we used to do a lot of bhajans in the evenings, Meher Baba bhajans, and all these kids used to come and they used to want prasad. There used to be some songs and singing and prayer and all that stuff. This guy came, this guy who was working in the NCC office used to ask that, who is the greatest person? Who is the greatest God? Is that Allah, or is that Christ, or is that Rama, or Meher Baba? And we used to tell him, if you ask whoever that religion, they say their God is great, but all gods are one. So we gave a picture of Meher Baba. And then what he did was, along that pond, he built a small thatched enclosure, and he put all the pictures of Rama, Krishna, and Allah picture, not an Allah picture, some writing of Islam, and Christ picture, and very prominently Meher Baba picture, the Chinmaya Mudra. You know what I'm talking about, the Chinmaya Mudra picture. And this mast used to come there and walk along that place. And I thought that's interesting, but I don't know if that is a must or a madman. I have no idea. That was little
Interesting.
experience I thought of sharing with you. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So,
I still had one more question. Sorry.
okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Raviju, for sharing that. In the last month, we heard this month was Spiritual Charge Man of Bombay. Do you recall?
Yeah,
Who
your
is that?
audio is kind of breaking up, but keep going.
So does that mean that there are always charge men of different areas?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that means today there must be.
That means what? Repeat the last line. That means?
Even in the current times, there must
Yes.
be charge men of every area
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
that we don't know
The
that.
countries also. Yeah. Even countries
Right.
also.
So there is a
Right.
chargeman in Singapore as we speak. You just have to find him.
And his name is Sunil Dar.
No. It's the she.
Namita. But
So,
this reminds me, once Baba and Mani and Mehra were in Jaipur, near the palace. They were on a mountain somewhere overlooking the palace. And then this guy with all the white ash around the whole body with a little lion cloth. Maybe you read it here, right? He was just happened to walking there, and Baba pointed him to either Mani or Mehra, I don't remember. And Baba said, "It is not the king who is ruling this area. It is that fella who is ruling that whole, who is in control of all the Jaipur area. He's kind of some musts in some plane. I don't remember what plane."
yeah.
And
So I
what
think to answer your, go ahead, Ashok, and after that, Alan.
Sorry, I'm thinking you missed out the chargeman Nomita. You probably know she met the
Oh,
chargeman and
yeah. Namita is the chargeman, right?
Nomita
Yeah.
is probably chargeman of the world. She controls the world through the diplomats of the world.
For
So
sure.
she
Yeah.
she tells them what to do, and then she just doesn't realize it. That's all. But she's the charge. She's one of the. She's senior in the chargeman hierarchy of the world.
Oh
Actually, is
my God,
Namita there?
please.
Namita ji,
Yes.
Namita ji,
probably,
I have to,
probably like
I have
Hanuman.
to,
No,
Namita ji, I have to
Haji.
tell these people what you did to Pavan. Can I explain to
Yes.
them the miracle?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's
Oh, you finally
interesting.
met Pavan?
No, I have not met him.
No, he never met. See,
Oh,
this is very
really?
interesting. Karthik, this is very interesting. Pavan, you met Pavan, right?
Yes, I
Karthik?
did. I met him in
Pavan,
Singapore. Yeah.
yeah. Pavan is my sister's son. My sister lives in Bangalore. Geeta, Geeta Jairam. Pavan, about when was that? About 6 months ago. He is very busy with his work and all. He's Baba lover. He had some symptom of pain, hand pain. And then he was supposed to have a meeting, and he was so tired that day. And he called the the Zoom people and said, "Hey, I'm feeling very tired. Somehow these are my symptoms, and then I cannot do this. I want to take rest." And they suggested to go to a doctor. And then he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You should see a cardiologist. Somehow I'm very doubtful about this." And this guy took it very easy and thought, "Oh, these doctors say something." He was coming home. It so happened he stopped at a place. I do not know, it was a light or something. On the other side, he happened to see the brother-in-law. His brother-in-law was the other side of the road. He just wants to go there and say hello to him. And he told him what happened. That brother-in-law, because of him, he forced him to go back to the cardiologist, got him checked, and good enough, he got some fills, in the heart, in the arteries. So he was taken immediately to the hospital, and he was rolled in a bed to the suite where they put the stents and all, radiologist suite. And then he was praying to Baba, "Baba, please be with me." He was very scared and very not happy with the situation. He started praying to Baba. And God only knows why Namita sent him a picture of Baba. Namita, now you tell me.
I don't know. I just sent it to him. I have no idea why I sent it to him. And then
When
he told,
Namita ji sent that picture to him, at that time he received it. And he felt so confident, yes,
Wow.
Baba is with me. And everything went well, and he was recovered, and he narrated this, and I was getting these goosebumps in my hands. I thought, oh my God, Baba was working through Namita ji. Where is Namita ji? She never knew about Pavan. She knew a little bit, probably not, never met. And why did Baba made her send that picture? It's just unbelievable.
and then he told me, can Sunil was traveling, I think. I was alone in the house, and he said, "Can I call you?" It was late, 11:30, 12. He says, "You don't know what this picture has meant to me. He says, "You saved my life." I said, "I'm nobody. Who am I to save your life?" But I don't know. I never write to him. I'm not in touch with him. At that time, I just sent it to him. And I mean, it's Baba's ways, but I was glad it meant something for him. Okay, this is my painting I'm doing right now.
Wow, what
Wow.
is this? It's more. Oh,
It's
Baba,
it's
that beloved God,
prayer.
help us all to love. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, yeah. Beloved God prayer. Yeah, okay.
I'll show you.
that's
Okay.
great.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Jai Baba. Let's continue. 16 February 1948. On this day began the final phase of Baba's triple plan. This plan, which has been referred in the early stages of this chapter, consisted of three parts. During the first period, beginning at Pimpalgaon on 17 January, Baba worked with Ali Shah and with a seeker from Pune. Notes of these contacts are given in the earlier annotations of this summary. The second phase took place at Allahabad on 9th February when Baba contacted 4,000 sadhus. The third and final phase was the distribution of grain and cloth to 4,000 poor of Ahmednagar district, and the notes that immediately follow give a summarized account of the various places visited in the execution of this ultimate phase of the plan. There are two things to be borne in mind about all these places visited by Baba. These are, firstly, the tickets with the word Prasad printed on them were distributed several days in advance to the poor in each center. And secondly, that on the day before Baba's visit, an advance party went to each center to make everything ready for the work the following day. On 16th February, Baba visited Kotul, a village beyond Sangamner, about 80 miles northwest of Ahmednagar. Here in the Dak Bungalow, he washed the feet of over 1,000 men and women. He gave a bundle of cloth and grain, 1.5 yards of white cloth, and 8 pounds of jawar to 1,010 people. And to 37 people, he gave 1 rupee each, and to 2 people, 2 rupees each. The bundles were distributed by Baba in complete seclusion. The work began at about 8 a.m. and was completed by about 1 p.m. When Baba returned to Ahmednagar, this visit to Kotul, uh, the work began at 8 a.m. and was completed by about 1 p.m. when Baba returned to Ahmednagar. This visit to Kotul is described in greater detail in the early pages of this chapter. So we remember how there was this curtained area between two rooms where Baba sat, and then there was a pile of all these bundles of jowar and cloth around him, and he used to give it away. Right, so we remember that. There was a footnote. The cloth was 1.5 yards wide and 1.5 yards long, and was enough, therefore, to make a shirt. Okay. 18th February 1948. On this day, Baba visited Parner, a large village about 25 miles west of Ahmednagar, where he distributed grain and cloth to the poor. This substantial village lies in undulating country and has a look of ancient greatness about it, as if it were once a place of considerable prosperity and importance. At one side of the village lies the school, consisting of two long buildings built of local black stone. Being a school, it had a large compound encompassed by a solid wall, so that there was ample space both in the school buildings and in the compound for Baba's work. On this day at Parner, Baba bathed the feet of more than 600 men and women. He gave a bundle of cloth and grain, 1.5 yards of white cloth, and 8 pounds of jowar to 606 people. To 29 people, he gave 1 rupee each, and one man was given 2 rupees. The bundles were distributed by Baba in complete seclusion. While waiting for the washing of feet, one of the crowd, an old man in rags, was overheard to say in English, pointing to Baba at work, "Just like Christ." 20th February 1948. On this day, Baba visited Kharda, a remote village about 70 miles southeast of Ahmednagar. It is a place of historical importance, for a battle was fought there between the forces of the Peshwas and a garrison of troops belonging to the Nizam of Hyderabad. As in Parner, the bathing and distribution were carried out in the local school. On this day, Baba washed the feet of over 1,000 men and women. He gave bundles of cloth and grain to 1,010 people, notes of 1 rupee each to 98 people, and notes of 2 rupees each to 13 people. As before, the bundles were distributed by Baba in complete seclusion. The photos in the earlier pages of this chapter of Baba washing the feet were taken at Kharada. 22nd February 1948. During the war, the 1939 to 1945 war, there was a military camp at Visapur, which lies by an irrigation lake about 25 miles south of Ahmednagar. After the constitutional changes of 15th August 1947 that involved such momentous and tragic migrations between India and Pakistan, many thousands of refugees were sheltered in this old camp at Visapur. On 22nd of February, Baba went to the irrigation bungalow at Visapur, where arrangements had been made for him to wash the feet of 1,000 refugees and give them each a bundle. So these are Pakistani partition people who came over, of grain and cloth. Now, on all other occasions, the identity of Baba had been kept a close secret so that no one knew who washed their feet and who gave them this prasad. On this occasion at Visapur, however, the news somehow reached the ears of the refugees that their feet were to be washed by the hands of a saint, and they refused to allow this, saying that they should wash his feet. As soon as Baba arrived at Visapur on the morning of 22nd February, he was apprised of the attitude of the refugees, and he decided to abandon the program. He gave, however, a contribution to the camp funds. Wow. 24th February 1948. On this day, at his center at Pimplegaon, Baba washed the feet of 840 men and women from the surrounding villages and gave to each a bundle of cloth and grain. These bundles were distributed by Baba in strict seclusion. One of those who came to receive prasad from Baba was a veteran who boasted of being 130 years old. He looked perhaps about 80 years of age, and the strain of his talk and the appearance of his body suggested that his claim was probably exaggerated. He is mentioned here, however, because he gave Baba his blessings. After finishing the distribution, Baba laughingly described how he had received this unexpected benediction, saying that for a long time he had been wanting someone to bless him. Baba and his humor. 26th February 1948.
I
On the
I
morning.
had a
Yeah,
thought crossing my mind.
sure.
Sorry. If Baba was living today
Hmm.
and he asked all of us that he will wash our feet, what would be our reaction?
I will not question anything, boss. I've learned so
I would,
much.
because if it is his will, we must follow.
That's it. I'll not question at all. I'll be embarrassed as hell, and but I'll accept it. That's my personal opinion. What about the others? Good question though.
Yeah,
I
it's a
have
good
no.
question. It's like a boon from the Almighty. I mean, His washing our feet means washing away all our. Okay.
Hmm.
The
Okay,
zero
we have
sum
all
game.
graduated. Looks like.
Well,
I mean, although it's a fantasy or imagination, but if that happens, it's like I mean, because Baba has said that not to touch anybody's feet, and if he touches your feet, means then he takes away all your sanskaras, and we'll reach that
No, I
zero
don't know
sum
if
game.
he's taking away everybody. So what do you think he's doing when he's washing these feet of the poor? Has it been described anywhere? Because I don't know if it is a complete elimination of sanskaras or anything.
Or at
It's
least,
some sort
uh,
of benediction for sure, but I don't know what it means.
yeah, it is a benediction, and I heard Dr. Gardekar tell me that not to touch anybody's feet.
Yeah, that is true. That Baba has said. That Baba has very clearly said. But I'm saying, do we know what he was doing? Because he has done probably overall maybe 20, 30, 10, 20,000 of these feet washing, right? So did he actually give them GR? I don't know. I
But
mean,
no.
but
One thing I know about washing the feet of leprosy people, he gave an explanation that he is controlling all the diseases that would come in the future,
okay.
pandemics and all those things.
Okay, great.
Yes. That I know, but rest of the people, why he was washing, no idea.
So what would you do, Ravi? You and Ashish, and then we ask Sunil then.
I would just stand there. I'd control my emotion and just give my feet. Baba, do whatever you want with my feet.
Yes.
Once we
Ashish.
surrender, we just have to. So this little story always reminds me. Who is this Western? I forgot the name. He came to Mehrabad, Pune, and he was bending and closing the zip of his bag. Halfway through, there was a pat on his back, and then he looked back, and Baba told him to go into the next room and get him something. And then he closed the bag. Then he went and brought it. And then Baba said, "When I told you to bring it at halfway through, when you're half zipping, you should go immediately. Don't care about finishing what you're doing. You should you should do whatever I told you to do." I mean, that example reminds me it's very important thing. We have to drop everything and do whatever Baba says. I consciousness, we have to leave. It's only I consciousness, right? That I want to do finish my job and take the next job. That's
Yeah.
me. But Baba's command should be, we have to respect the Baba command in such a way. So Baba is telling us how to obey him also. That's what I got it from that.
absolute Ravi, it's complete obedience.
Hmm.
Ashish, your turn.
Definitely we have to accept, we have to obey the Baba's order. But my counter question is like, this is okay. It's like washing the legs. But what if Baba asks you to do something which you which really make you very embarrassing? to hit someone or just walk naked on the road or something like that, then what you will do? Yeah.
I pray for the courage to
I
carry out that.
do it.
Yeah, but I will do it.
I'll still do it.
I will do it without
Yeah.
hesitation.
Without hesitation. Yeah. Yeah.
Sunil,
Same.
why you the one who
I'll
asked
do
the
it.
question? What will you do?
Follow, man. Nothing else. There's no thinking. Just follow.
Yeah. So are you in a better position to read now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we can you can read for a bit and then Ashish can read for some time in the end.
Okay, we're starting at
Yeah.
26th February.
Yes, 26 February 1948.
On the morning of this day, Baba broke the partial fast that he had begun on 17th January. During the afternoon of this day, Baba motored, this is 1st March 1948. During the afternoon of this day, Baba motored to Pune from Ahmednagar. In Pune, he contacted an advanced pilgrim known as Shastri Kher. Shastri Kher lived in a market in Pune city where he eats the filthy remnants of food that have been thrown away. After contacting him, Baba returned to Ahmednagar the same night. On 7th March 1948, because of the refusal of the refugees at Visapur to have their feet washed by Baba, arrangements were made to distribute the remaining bundles of cloth and grain in some other center. Baba therefore decided to distribute. Of the bundles in a village known as Vambori that lies about 15 miles north of Ahmednagar. He chose 7th March for this final program. On this day, Baba washed the feet of nearly 600 men and women. He distributed bundles of cloth and grain to 583 people, gave 1 rupee each to 50 people, and 2 rupees each to 1 or 2 people. Thus, at Bambori was concluded the Baba's program of distribution to poor. This is therefore an appropriate place to give a final summary of the total numbers contacted in each 5 centers visited by Baba. In connection with these statistics, it should be made clear that 1 rupee notes were presented to many people who arrived at the places of distribution without any tickets. But those who were very poor, that Baba decided to give them 1 rupee each. The 2 rupee notes were given to a few very latecomers who, though they had tickets, had arrived too late to receive the bundle, the latter giving all been given away to others before they arrived. So I have another question crossing my mind.
Sure.
Did the villagers do right thing by declining Baba washing their feet, not knowing that he was highest of the high?
I think yeah, maybe yes. Others,
Anybody else?
you want to chime in? Yeah.
Yeah, Sunil, I think it was their destiny that they didn't get that benediction.
Destiny
It's
is
all,
made by Baba, right? Baba wanted to.
yeah, Baba wanted to, but if they declined, then it was, I mean, their prarabdha or whatever the situation, and they couldn't get what was given away to them. But that's what I can understand. And I have a counter question to everybody. See, there are a lot of numbers here. Baba gave 37 people 1 rupee, 2 rupees to 2 people. That all adds up to 41. Then he gave 1 rupee to 98 people, 13 people, he gave 2 rupees. That adds up to 114. So, I mean, there is some significance on these numbers.
There is surely a
Because
significance, and we don't know what it is, but I don't know.
because
It's
he's
an
an
illusion.
he will see the numbers.
Sorry?
Because you want to see the numbers.
Of course.
No, you're
yeah,
very
right.
far from the mic. We can hardly hear you.
Yes.
He's saying because Shokji is from finance,
Yeah, yeah.
works very quickly.
My number mind goes into numbers, but I don't know. That's my how I'm trained. And there are a lot of again numbers in the screen which comes up in front of us. So I don't know. There is some. I mean, all these numbers 1049636 whatever. There is some significance to this.
They say something to you. They don't say
Yes,
anything to me.
because no, because every number has got a story. I'm telling you, I don't know. Maybe it's the way I've been whatever I'm involved with numbers.
Trained, yeah.
I mean, trained. My bread and butter comes from numbers, but there is a story behind numbers.
Could
Think
be,
of it.
could be, could be. But we are reading Baba's story. So just
Yeah,
stick
yeah,
to Baba's story.
yeah.
And it's okay.
I'm saying Baba's story also. There is some significance of
Could
this
be,
number.
yeah. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Could
Good.
be, could be.
Jai Baba.
Yeah. Jai Baba.
Okay,
So,
so yeah,
do we read all the numbers? Go to 16 February, number of people
yeah,
given
yeah.
bundles was 1010, and number of people given rupee 1 each was 37. Number of people given rupees 2 each was 2, and total was 1049. At Parner on 18 February, number of people given bundles was 606. Number of people given 1 rupee each was 29, and number of people given 2 rupee each was 1. Total was 636. At Kharda on 20th February, number of people given bundles was 1010. Number of people given rupee 1 each was 98, and number of people given rupee 2 each was 13, and total was 1121. At Pimplegaon on 24th February, number of people given 840, given
Yeah,
bundles 840, no rupees given. What is there a way to uh, extrapolate that 1 rupee to today's value? Just for imagination, what it meant.
yeah, there must be a way, but let me
Yeah,
try.
Ashokji,
yeah.
mathematical
There,
brain.
He's
there
the
is a
Can you
man.
way.
do a
Yeah.
quick?
It's known as a purchasing power parity. That means what 1 rupee can buy at that time and what 1 rupee can buy today because of inflation. It's lost its purchasing value. So you can correlate in terms of inflation.
Is there a quick way, like Google type 1 rupee in 1938 or 1941, what it means today?
Yeah,
Or,
it's the purchasing power, the inflation. So you can find out. You have to research on this because we have to find out the purchasing power of 1 rupee in that time and today's time, and apple to apple, same quantity of any commodity, grocery, vegetables, gold. Gold is one of the um, standard measures.
chalo, theek hai. Let's keep going forward. Vambori, 7th March, number of people given bundles, 583. Number of people given rupee 1 each, 50. And number of people given rupee 2 each was 1 or 2. So total number is 634 or 635. The totals, therefore, for all 5 places, the number of people given bundles was 4049. Number of people given rupee 1 each was 214. And number of people given rupee 21 each, or is it
No, I think it's two
typo? I
each,
guess
17 or
2
18
each,
people. There's a typo.
17 or 18. Yeah.
So intriguing as to why he selected those numbers, one for somebody, two for somebody.
That's picture of Mahara
Yeah.
preparing to eat, preparing feed for a cow.
Yeah.
You know, I just Googled what is the value of 1 rupee in 1948 now, but I got the answer for 1961, which is not too far.
Yeah.
Consumer price index inflation rate from 1961 to 2016, 1 rupee is equal to 18.35 lakhs now.
My goodness.
My goodness.
That's
Wow.
what I was trying to figure out. I mean, that rupee
But
must.
But
means
if you
so much to
had
people.
kept somewhere, if you hidden 1 rupee somewhere, now you take it out. I don't know whether you can really get 18.35 lakhs now. Probably not.
I'm not sure, but it must mean a hell lot of money for those days, right?
Yeah.
So I was
Just to give you all an example, I mean, I remember this. The gold rate in 1971 was 251 for 1 tola. Today it's 66,000. So even if you do it by gold standard, anyway, that's all mathematics.
No. They took a
Namita wants to
consumer
know
price index,
where
all those things.
Namita wants to know where did Baba get the money from?
Meherji Kakaria used to supply all the money
Meherji Kakaria, is it? Who was he?
because Baba asked him to start a business. He
I see.
started the business of filter papers.
Filters. Oh yeah.
And he said, without his own knowledge, the business grew like heaps and bounds. And he used to export to different countries too. And he used to
I
get a
see.
lot of money.
Mm,
And he used to supply to all the Baba needs.
I see.
Yeah, I think he got it from maybe G. Kakaria was one of the big ones, but many people also were at various points in time giving him money, right? So
Yeah, Adi
Yeah, I'm sure
Kirani.
there were so many people. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so with that,
You unmute. Sorry, Namita wants to say
Uh,
something.
yeah, Baba. Talking about talking about the Masts, recently last month when I was in Mehrabad, I had arranged for something to be given to the
school.
children. And then there was extra. So the driver took me to this Mast ashram. There were like more than 50 people who somebody has started a Mast ashram, and there are these people. So whatever was left over, we share it with them. And that's a good, I mean, if any of you, it's a good seva opportunity to give them ration or something like that. The whole bunch of these people, they try to engage them through small activities, doing some gardening work and stuff like that. There's a building there, simple but nice. I saw the kitchen also. I think supplies like toothpaste, those kind of things, and some clothes or some regular ration is something one can do if one wants to. Jai Baba.
Hey, thank you. Where is this place? In
It's not
Nagar?
far from Samadhi.
Okay,
The driver took me. I don't know where it is.
okay.
It goes through some fields, but it's quite good. I'll send you a video of these people sang me a happy birthday song also.
Oh, lovely.
Some of them understand, some of them don't.
I do
Uh,
not think this is a trust activity, right? It's
no, no,
somebody, some Baba lover.
no. It's not a trust. It's not a trust activity.
Is it a
But
Baba lover or
huh?
is it a Baba lover or we don't know?
I don't know because the driver took me there. I have not. I don't know.
Okay, okay. No, there were no Baba photographs and stuff like that.
No, I didn't see any Baba
Yeah,
photograph.
yeah. So because I have not heard of this, very interesting
Very,
though.
very
Yeah.
good. Very nice. There's work to be done there. If
Hmm.
Baba,
But how do they know they are musts? They are mad people
Yeah,
no,
also
yeah.
there?
So
the
it could
must
be mad. Yeah.
they have picked up these people from all over Mehrabad and around there, and they put them in this facility. Those with no house, or many of them didn't look mentally well. So I mean, basically that. I don't know which one, but they call it a Mastaf ashram. Yeah, Jai
Interesting.
Baba.
Jai
Yeah,
Baba.
thank you.
So with that, we go to the last section of the book, the work of Meher Baba with advanced souls, sadhus, the mad, and the poor. And it says 15th March to 14th May 1948. So how much time do we have? We have 10 minutes. Yeah. Sunil, you want to continue or if
I could. Somebody else wants to read. I'm fine to.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Shall I
Ashish. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Although the final chapter of the Wayfarers closed on 7th March 1948, it was made clear in that chapter that the work of Meher Baba with advanced souls, sadhus, and the poor would continue as a matter of course. While the Wayfarers has been in hands of the printers, New York has been done that could not. Therefore, we set be set into the book itself. And so this pamphlet is a kind of epilogue to the main volume and token that much work lies ahead. The central theme of these few pages in the journey of Meher Baba to the Himalaya. The word Himalaya means the Adolf of snow, and from the Indus at one end to the Brahmaputra at the other. This mightiest of the world's mountain ranges sweeps for 1,500 miles. About 500 miles from the northern end lies a massif of snow-covered giants that are supremely sacred to Hindu tradition. And from the melting snows of these summits arises a network of innumerable streams that join to make India's most sacred river, the Gangas, the true source of the Gangas, or to give the river her true name, Mother Ganga, lies above Gangotri. Here, from an ice cave 13,800 feet above sea level, this sacred river starts on course of more than 1,500 miles to the Bay of Bengal, into which it falls by a network of estuaries from its source in the green ice cavern above Gangotri until it joins the Alakanda at Devaprayag, about 120 miles downstream. The river is known as the Bhagirathi. About halfway between the source of the Bhagirathi and the confluence at Devaprayag lies in the village of Uttarkashi, famous as a center for spiritual aspirants, yogis, and advanced souls. Uttarkashi is the focal point of this pamphlet, for it for it was to this little village that Baba went in April 1948. Uttarkashi is not high by Himalayan standards, for it lies less than 4,000 feet above sea level. But to get there, the traveler must ride or walk along the stony track from Tehri Garhwal, a distance of some 40 miles. Now, to walk 40 miles in a rather remote Himalaya valley in an entirely different thing from walking the same distance along a straight and level road in open country. To begin with, one must consider the transport of baggage, for no wheeled traffic can move over these rough tracks, and every ounce must be carried on mules, ponies, or men. Most travelers, however, find pack animals tiresome and unreliable, and the backbone of Himalaya transport, except in Tibet, where the yak is used, is the back of the Nepalese or the Dhotial porter. This tough little man will carry up to 60 pounds over the roughest sort of country, and I have seen them walk barefoot on hard snow for several hours without complaint. It is quite impossible to put the Himalaya down in words. They must be seen to the believed, whether you view these great giants from afar, when they seem like clouds on a summer's day, or whether from some turn in the lonely water riven valley at their very feet, you gaze in astonishment at their walls of glittering ice that are measured in tens of thousands of feet. However, you see them, they are incredible and indescribable. This is the romance of the Himalaya, but all Himalayan travel is not so stimulating to the imagination. And there are many valleys in the middle reaches between the great heights and the plains that are merely hot, oppressive, and dull. The track from Tehri to Uttarkashi is something between these extremes, and a road interesting only where a turn in the valley reveals a new vista, or where the path draws close to the roaring waters of the Bhagirathi. For an account of the aspirants and advanced souls contacted by Baba in Uttarkashi itself, and for the log of his itinerary, the reader is referred to the summary. Besides this work in the Himalaya, it will be seen that much other work has been done, and that the trek to Uttarkashi was only part of extensive journey that almost touched at the frontier of eastern Pakistan. Finally, it will be observed that summary opens with an account of more contacts in Bombay. It is obvious to many that Baba's contacts show phases of regional concentration at certain times. By the formidable expression, I mean nothing more than this, that at certain times, Baba goes again and again to a particular city or district and contacts must and advanced souls there, often the same ones over and over again. Such a concentration was obvious in Kashmir in 1943 and 44, and in Hyderabad in 1945. And since autumn of 1947, we find Baba focusing his attention on two new centers, namely Bombay and Gujarat. It is impossible to say whether these phases of regional concentration are the results of convince or whether, as they feel, they have a much deeper significance because Baba is entirely reticent about the meaning of his strange work of his meaning of this strange work of his. My impression is that his work is either so personal that is nature and meaning are none of our business, or that the ins and outs of it are so intricate and obscure that the even detailed explanation will be quite beyond our grasp. Since, therefore, we cannot see behind the veil, we must rest content with a description of the whale itself, the mere record of the journey and contacts, or so we shall proceed with the summary. Summary of contacts from 15 March to 14 May 1948. 2 stars meaning of special interest, single star means of interest. 25th March, Meher Baba in Bombay, where he contacts certain new must. Haji Noor Ahmad Baba is an elderly Pathan. Many years ago, he was a schoolmaster and would teach his pupils about the Quran and about Shariat. It seems, however, that one day he became intoxicated with divine love, for he left the school and began wander about the stark naked. In those days, he was in the suburb of Bombay known as Kurla, and he stayed there or thereabouts for some 12 years. He now lives near the fire station at Bhendi Bazaar in Bombay, in the house of certain Haji Gafur, a watch repairer. In 1933, Haji Gafur took Nur Ahmad with him on a pilgrimage to Makkah. Hence, the handle Haji affixed to both their names. Haji Nur Ahmad Baba is a good must. He is now in a Salik-like state and is held in high esteem by his fellow Pathans of Bombay. There is a must, there is a must and a good one whose name is not recorded, who sits on some steps at the fire station in Bhendi Bazaar. This was Baba's second contact with him. Shah Sahib came originally from Hyderabad, Deccan, although he is said to have been in Bombay for the last 40 years. He is tall and his height is accentuated by a long black kafni. He wanders about Bombay, and although not widely known as spiritual figure, he is in fact an advanced pilgrim. There is a ragged, tousle-headed, middle-aged must near the petrol pump at Bendi Bazaar. He was a passion of chewing pan, and his clothes are sodden and stained with the rich brown color of his spittle. His eyes, however, are bright and clear, as if his mind were lit up by some inner joy. He is a modest must. For the definition of an advanced pilgrim, see chapter 1 of the Wayfarers, page 38 at sequence.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Dhuniwala
stop.
Baba.
Yeah, we'll stop at end of this. Yeah.
Yeah, Dhuniwala Baba is a good must who collects rubbish which he burns. He then sits before this fire and warms his hands over the flames. He is naked except for loin cloth. A dhuni is the sacred fire.
So that with that we end above. Okay, still Bombay will continue after that. So we'll end with at this point and then continue next week with 17th March. So okay, I will stop recording. Oh, before that, we should see this. Just 1 second.
Beloved God.
Did you get
So
that?
let's why don't you read beloved God prayer?
Okay. It's just,
Wow.
beloved God, help us all to love you more and more and more and more and still yet more till we become worthy of union with you. And help us all to hold fast to Baba's Daman till the very end. Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thank you. Give us a closer look. Here we go. Yeah.
It hasn't dried, but I'm still working on it.
Okay. A prayer for Baba. Okay. Great. Lovely.
Wait. I'll show you. This is a family project.
Oh.
Sunil is also drawing, but he is writing this prayer of repentance. No.
Wow.
His syllabus was. What did you write? Okay. He written Hafiz couplets.
Oh, okay. The three
Wow.
couplets. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So
Early days, just so.
Amita, there's beyond doubt, you people are having some epicenter or center of excellence or whatever of Baba.
So you have to come
चार्जमैन से
here,
डिमोट कर दिया.
excellent on our own. You have to come here. We are waiting.
चार्ज में तो है ही है, but I'm saying सिंगापुर में वो जो जगह है जहाँ भी इनका घर है, that's the center of address of excellence.
Absolutely. And you are invited. Please come.
Namita ji, thanks for the invite.
You will come. I'm telling you. You are coming
Yeah,
soon.
yes. Oh, that I also want to come. Only thing, Kumud's mother is under bed rest and still, on her, not out of the woods. So we are all grounded in Pune. And that's why I've not even visited Mehrabad, because I first do our service to her, whatever we can help her.
I hope
She's
she
under
gets better.
bed rest for last 2.5 months.
Wow. I hope she feels better soon. I'll stop recording meanwhile
Oh, that's all on.
and drop.